is right now. There we go. Trump is telling allies he plans to run for president in 2024 and that he could announce it by the end of the year.
You
Um,
know what else that does too
I mean, as
is they're gonna say, "Oh, be quiet, you're helping Trump." Whenever we try to, they're already doing it. It's
they
like if you look at
always do
AOC's
that.
replies,
Yeah.
like she's got like Eichenwald, fucking tentacle porn guy, and all these other shit libs are all in the replies like, "Oh, quit being so divisive. Oh, quit being so divisive." And it's like, we just had the election. What the fuck excuse do you have? If we were
Really,
gonna
like
have this
right now is
discussion,
when
this is the time, right?
exactly this is the time to be having these kinds of discussions. I mean, regardless of what Trump is up to or not up to, if he's finally come to terms with losing and is gearing up for another run, then fuck it. This is
No,
the time to talk about this shit. And
the thing with the money is
y-
that's
the,
not how money works,
right,
right? Like, it's not. We create our own. We print money. Like, we
right.
control the currency for the global economy.
Mm-hmm,
We can print money as much as we want,
mm-hmm.
and it's not going to affect the value of anything because the entire global market relies on the dollar being
Yeah,
stable. So
and
if that was going to be a problem, it would have been a
mm-hmm,
problem when we started buying junk bonds. Like,
exactly. So this is what they're saying on MSNBC, by the way,
look
and
at that
uh,
comment.
here we go. We can't afford it. China was the one who started COVID. They need to be held accountable for the world
No.
pandemic.
Look
Yeah.
up MMT. That's not how money works anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Since we got off the gold standard,
Yeah.
like, it's all based on the market's response.
Exactly.
So,
So.
like, there's no inflation. Like, that doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be that with less
Well, I mean, that
currency.
was the whole point of them getting us off the gold standard, was to get rid of the whole inflation crisis that was going on in the 70s. That's why
Exactly.
Nixon did what he did. But
Yeah.
on MSNBC, this is what they're saying. Trump was never going to give a concession speech because he won't, but his silence over the last 5 days is a concession speech. It's a silence of a terrified man. I mean, these guys.
That's lib shit, man.
Yeah,
Who is that?
that is really lib shit, because I mean, he's not shutting up. He's just, I mean, he's on a Twitter storm every day, still going
No.
off about illegal votes or whatever it is. I don't think he's gonna concede. I think what he'll
What do you want
do.
to do for China? I don't understand. These people, you want to go to war with China? Is that what you're saying? Is that what the hell accountable means?
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
first of
bro.
all, I mean, even if you could prove that they made it as some sort of
Look,
bioweapon
even no,
to
but
hurt
like,
Trump,
here's the thing about it. Like, even at worst, even if there was something that they genetically modified and it got an outbreak for the world or whatever else it did, like I keep coming back to, the U.S.'s response has been uniquely bad.
exactly.
They're
Like,
the
China's fine.
China is
Like,
yeah, China's basically fine.
yeah,
But the problem is the response that we've had here just made the situation so much worse than it otherwise would have been.
yeah. Our
You know,
for-profit healthcare system, the fucking culture war,
he's,
the
yeah.
the
Oh,
fact that masks
yeah.
and like
Yeah,
lockdowns
they've
were
been
turned into a
politicized
culture
and
war
everything.
thing,
Yeah.
and then people were locked up at home with one $1,200 check. Like, you need to do what every other country did. If you're going to shut down the economy, you have to pay people to stay home. That's
Right.
literally what every other country did except us. We're
Yeah.
the only ones who didn't.
Um.
Canada, the UK, Europe, all of them. Like,
So
Japan, Korea,
well, just staying up
Australia.
on the topic that we're talking about. Um.
Like, that's like a.
Michael Cohen weighed in on what he
I
thinks Trump
saw
is gonna
that.
do.
But
Did you
this is
catch that?
like. That's going to be like a thing they write about in the history books. Like, it's going to be on par with like the what's it called? Like, when the Soviets took over Russia and they had the grain crisis and all.
Oh,
The what's it called? When you run out of food, the
what
famine.
famine?
It's going to be on par with shit like that. Like, this is a
I was hoping
historic
you'd bring up.
failure.
I was hoping you'd bring up plague rats, bro.
No, this is a historic failure. Like, seriously.
I mean, it really has been. But yeah, here we go. Michael Cohen, the president's consigliere, he says that he won't that Trump is probably not going to return to the White House after Christmas at Mar-a-Lago.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. If he kind of knows his patterns. When it comes down to it, and at some point or another, the writing is gonna be on the wall for Trump. I mean, this is an update, because we did speculate as to the legal challenges that we're gonna be seeing from Trump, and this is the state of them right now.
Over 12.
0 of 12.
And
Yeah,
the ones that he was pursuing too, it
they're
was only trying to get
yeah,
rid of like a few votes here and there.
yes,
There was like 56 votes or 12 votes. I think one of them was like 600 votes or something.
right.
It's just nowhere near enough to come close to changing it.
Yeah, he's
And I
down
keep coming back
several
to the same
thousand
thing.
votes.
Yeah, like 10,000 or so, and it was like the closest race,
Yeah,
right? And I keep coming back to the same thing. It's the scale of this. Nobody there. People keep acting like, oh, they had a bag full of, and that's how they snuck them in. No, like it would have to be like several truckloads of pallets.
right.
Like I keep saying, my precinct had 341 ballots, and it was a stack like this tall. Like it's a lot of ballots. The ballots are big, thick, long paper. It's like you would not be able to sneak that in. Every single place they go, there's a Democrat and a Republican watching the ballots at all times.
Yeah.
Like the
So,
lawsuit they tried to do for the observers.
and then like this idea that voter fraud is somehow easy to pull off too is kind of funny to me. With there at one point I saw a statistic about this. There's a very finite number of voter fraud cases ever. It's like a handful of cases, and what Trump is trying to push, this narrative that he's trying to push, is hundreds of thousands of ballots. Just to you're talking
Absolutely
a
insane.
handful versus hundreds of thousands of ballots. It's not a thing. Yeah, you see, Biden is a clown. Well,
We didn't vote for him.
Yeah, we
Speak
didn't.
for yourself.
Yeah, bro, we didn't vote for him. But no, like Biden is gonna be an improvement in a certain amount of areas.
No, he's gonna have his administration will be competent, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll be able to run the country without having major lapses in bureaucratic control, right? They won't do shit like, fire the pandemic response team the year, right before we have a pandemic. Like simple
Right.
shit like that. Like they'll have masks, they'll have PPE, like nurses will, have proper equipment to go to work, like
Mhm.
just bare minimum shit like that. But like it's not gonna, like, maybe they'll do some stuff. Like I said, I keep coming back to this, like the country desperately needs some sort of government action right now. Like they need jobs programs, they need some sort of healthcare improvement, they need to get the fucking virus under control. It's worse
Yes.
now than it ever has been. It was like 120 something thousand new cases today, and thousands of people are
actually,
dying.
there was this just because you brought it up, in Texas they reported that we're the first state to cross the 1 million
Yeah, I saw that.
case mark. See, I have that article right here too. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, here we go from the Daily Beast. Number of positive cases in Texas have surpassed 1 million, making us the first state to reach that grim milestone. And look, the situation here, it's been likened to the situation in New York when there was when the outbreak first occurred. But we're in a even worse situation here because we're dealing with incompetence everywhere from the municipal level all the way up to the federal level at this point, because our damn governor's not gonna act in the interest of safety unless things are that dire to the point where there's no other option.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Like, for say what you want about Cuomo or De Blasio, at least they were competent enough that they knew that they had to go and put things on a shutdown. They knew they had to put in mandatory masks statewide. There were certain things that they were going to do that somebody like Governor Abbott is not going to do.
Well, they don't have that. That's the thing about Biden is like they don't have that ideological. Like there's no ideological conflict between spending money to fix the pandemic. It's
Right.
like the Republicans have this this ideological goal of not spending money on the government. They want to do everything privatized as much as possible. Like they don't want to. They want to put everything in the free market, so-called free market, when it's really just like bribes to their cronies. Like they wanted to. That's how Trump ran the entire response. Was not, oh, let's give the CDC money to help people. It's let's give money to a bunch of fucking pharma companies and like medical supply companies and have them like sell shit to people. And you can't do that. That's not always the response. Like when you have a crisis, you have to have the government has to steer the till, right? They have to direct the thing. They can't just leave it up to profit motive because it doesn't work. You just have more greed and corruption.
But